Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. There's some updates over at the Warner Brothers DC film side that I really want to talk about today. Very concerning and very confusing at the same time, but it's another day in the world of DC. Absolutely. But before I get into that, I want to throw this little thing out. It's a little game, but it has to do with Zack Snyder's Justice League, so I felt like I should share it. I had this game on my mobile, so I'll be like, oh, that's pretty cool. Apparently, Injustice 2 Mobile, celebrate all things Justice League with your favorite DC movie heroes in Injustice 2 Mobile. Also, have you streamed the Snyder Cut yet? DC Comics. Now, they put this in black and white. These characters are pretty much already in the game. Now, I don't know if they're going to add to it. I don't know. There is a black suit version, but it didn't look like the one in Justice League. So I'm wondering if they're gonna, adapt that or in some sort of fashion. But that would be kind of cool if it did. But it's great. More little bit promotions for Injustice as well as Zack Snyder's Justice League. Then that'd be pretty cool. So, but let's get into it. All right. So the real first topic of the day is going to be about the Suicide Squad. Now, the Suicide Squad trailer came out, and I reacted to the Suicide Squad trailer, the new one they're calling the Rebellion trailer, and I thought it was pretty freaking fantastic. I think that was the trailer they should have went out, not the other version, and you can go ahead and check out my reaction up here. I'm going to link it up there, so check that out if you want to. But out of that, James Gunn talked a little bit, had a few comments, and he actually mentions, because someone mentions David Ayer, and so he actually mentions a little bit of that. So I'm calling this just Suicide Squad because it kind of talks about both Suicide Squad in a way. So this is one where David Ayer responds, retweets James Gunn's note here. James Gunn was talking about when someone asked him, do we need to watch David Ayer's Suicide Squad to understand this one? He says, no, you don't need to see David Ayer's movies filmed to understand what's happening in this one. And David Ayer says the Suicide Squad is a wonderful, self-contained reinvention, so you really don't need to connect that together other than those characters are from the other movie. So it makes me even more curious how much connection, if at all, it is to David Ayer, or is there an homage to it? Is there anything like that in terms of continuity wise or not? It seems like James Gunn's saying no, you don't really need to see the David Ayer Suicide Squad. But in response to David Ayer's cut, when someone asked is there a chance that we'll get to see David Ayer's cut after your Suicide Squad, and James Gunn of course comes out in support of that and says I think there's a chance of that, and David Ayer does the happy face with the hearts there. So James Gunn, of course, I'm glad he said that. He didn't need to say that, but the reason why he needs to say that because, Ann Sarnoff went over there and started canceling some stuff, and one of the things she said they're not going to do is David Ayer's cut, which puts a lot of pressure, I believe, on James Gunn, which isn't fair to James Gunn, and I don't think he should be, answering these questions in regards to a movie that's not his. But I'm glad he kind of settled it down. He kind of, he's playing nice as well. He doesn't want anybody to start flaming him for something that he's not responsible for. That's all on Warner Brothers. But I'm glad that he's also putting a little bit of hope out there, saying that he thinks there's a chance that could happen after this Suicide Squad. So hopefully that's the case as well, because I really need, we really want to see what David Ayer had planned for his Suicide Squad, his version of the cut. So that's pretty much it for the Suicide Squad. Now let's get into some DC films, because it's all about DC today. Today is incredible. I'm going to start off with this in chronological order, right? So Ray Porter started, he tweeted out, says, please stop pestering Ava. In regards to probably people are like, hey, are you going to use Ray Porter as Darkseid and so on and so forth? And, Ava DuVernay is going to do whatever Ava DuVernay is going to do with New Gods. And so that's, Of course, because that's her vision. But Ava says, thank you, Ray. You've been nothing but gracious towards me. Appreciate you and fans who supported. I'm told the studio will be speaking about their recent decision about New Gods characters soon. I hope our paths cross one day, sir. If not in the fourth world, then in another. So you're looking at that. It doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound like they're really going to do anything of the New Gods. As she said, hey, maybe, in a way, it's either they're going to go forward with her New Gods and not do anything with Ray Porter, or they're not going to do anything with New Gods entirely. So, but the story here, that you're looking at here, should be looking at, is that the studio will be speaking about their recent decision about New Gods character suits. Recent decision about New Gods character soon. So I'm really curious about this, but we didn't have to be curious that long, because the Hollywood Reporter put out an article today that Ava DuVernay's New Gods, James Wan's The Trench, DC movies are not moving forward at Warner Brothers. What? Whoa. All right. Well, I kind of felt that, New Gods wasn't going to happen. There was seems to be problems with greenlighting that and so on and so forth. But I thought The Trench would still at least be going forward, at least on HBO Max or something. But let's read even further into this and see what's actually really going on. So this is from the Hollywood Reporter. The terror of the deep and the fire of apocalypse won't be felt anytime soon. Warner Brothers and DC Films' upcoming slate is moving forward without Ava DuVernay's New Gods and James Wan's Aquaman spinoff, The Trench. As part of our DC slate, some legacy development titles, including New Gods and The Trench, will not be moving forward, Warner Brothers and DC said in a statement. We thank our partners Ava DuVernay, Tom King, James Wan, and Peter Safran for their time and collaboration during this process, and look forward to our continued partnership with them on other DC stories. The projects will remain in their skillful hands if they were to move forward in the future. New Gods, which DuVernay has been developing as a directing vehicle with acclaimed comic book writer Tom King since 2018, would have brought to the screen the comic book characters created by the late and legendary artist Jack Kirby. DuVernay, however, remains in the DC fold and is currently working on the DC series Naomi for the CW. The Trench, meanwhile, was to have been a power-tinged project spinning out of Aquaman and focused on the group of deadly amphibious creatures seen in the $1 billion grossing 2018 film. Noah Gardner and Aidan Fitzgerald had written the script, which Wan was developing as a producer with collaborator Peter Safran. Wan, too, remains in the DC fold as he is prepping to shoot Aquaman 2 for the studio later this year. The projects are being shelved, but like many comic characters, could come to life down the road. DC Films, led by President Walter Hamada, is leaving the door open to revisit these properties in the future, but insiders note that when it became clear the upcoming DC slate did not have a natural spot for New Gods or the Trenches over the next few years, execs believed it was best not to leave the filmmakers hanging in development without a clear end in sight. DC is currently building an interconnected slate in which projects will feed in and out of the big and the small, with films such as James Gunn's The Suicide Squad spinning off into the John Cena-led HBO Max series Peacemaker, and Matt Reeves' Batman spawning its own Gotham Police Department-focused show. Tom, I loved writing New Gods with you, DuVernay wrote on Twitter, along with a photo of herself with King. I'm upset that the saga of Barda, Scott, and Granny, Highfather, and the Furies ends this way. Diving into Kirby's fourth world was the adventure of a lifetime. That can't be taken away. Thank you for your friendship, and remember, dark side is. So that's actually a tweet she had here. I was going to read it, but it's in the article. So with The Trench, sources say that the upcoming Aquaman sequel was considered enough, but Warner would come back to it down the line if there's a thirst for more adventures set in the Atlantean kingdoms. It was also considered a possibility for streaming, but is more of a standalone story rather than having a strong tie-in to Aquaman or the rest of the DC universe. Which is interesting when they say that, down the line there's a thirst for more adventures set in the Atlantean kingdoms. I don't know if a $1 billion movie did not have any more interest in that. I can honestly say, this would have been a good spin-off from Aquaman 2, like how you guys are doing Peacemaker, spinning off from, Suicide Squad, GCPD spinning off from the Batman. Why can't Trench be a spinoff from Aquaman? I don't know. But, or the rest of the DC Universe. New Gods, which would have been a sprawling tale, was complicated by the fact that its villain, Darkseid, just appeared as a major foil in Zack Snyder's Justice League, and there was a desire to have space between the latter and any new appearances. I don't get that. Like, honestly, I don't get that, but we'll come back to that. I want to talk about that further. Except for the Batman, which is set on an alternate Earth known to geeks as Earth 2. DC is plotting its films and shows to share the same universe. Key to setting up its new status quo will be The Flash on November 4th, 2022, which will tackle the multiverse and is said to also lend clarity to the future of the Justice League with multiple Batman as well as Supergirl appearing. So it sounds like they're clearly calling the Batman Earth 2. There's going to be multiple Batmans, but it seems like they're putting a lot of their chips within that Flash movie, because that Flash movie is supposed to spin out to future Justice League, a future Justice League with multiple Batman and Supergirl, as appearing, right? Other projects on the slate due out in 2022-23 include Warner's and New Line's Black Adam, Shazam! Fear of the Gods, as well as Warner's Blue Beetle, Batgirl, Supergirl. So they do plan to have a Batgirl movie. They do plan to have a separate Supergirl movie. Green Lantern Corps is on, I don't know if that's the movie or, I'm wondering if that's the movie or the HBO Max show, and Static Shock. Zatanna and a third Wonder Woman are also in development, while an upcoming Superman from producer J.J. Abrams and screenwriter Ta-Nehisi Coates is too early in development to say if it will be connected to the larger DC universe or if, like the Batman, it will stand on its own. So, and that was the updated tweet from Ava DuVernay. So kind of crazy, right? A little bit crazy. I want to go back. So I talked a little bit of the Trench, and then that's probably something that they could have done, especially. But look at this. New Gods, which could have been, and close that. New Gods, which could have been a sprawling tale, was complicated by the fact that its villain, Darkseid, just appeared as a major foil in Zack Snyder's Justice League, and there was a desire to have space between the latter and any new appearances. What? Okay, I don't get that at all. And the reason I don't get that is that if they were calling the Snyderverse, Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League, Zack Snyder finished his trilogy, he's already done, we're going to move forward without his vision or whatever, then what is the deal? What is the problem with getting your own Darkseid and New Gods, right? Like, what is the issue with that? Like, if you are moving on from the Snyderverse, then why are you still thinking about the Snyderverse? Are you afraid? Are you afraid that Ava DuVernay's Darkseid can't even compare to Ray Porter's Darkseid? That's what I'm reading here. You guys are scared. You guys are like, oh shit, we might not be as good as Zack Snyder's Justice League. So what will do? We'll keep some space. We'll have some space between New Gods and a potential new Gods, and the one that Zack Snyder's Justice League is going over there, right? It doesn't make sense. Yeah, I get it. In multiverse canon, there is only one Darkseid. But if you are trying to throw away that Darkseid, what's stopping you from making your own fucking Darkseid? You know what's stopping you? Fear. You are fucking scared that you won't be able to make anything as good as Zack Snyder's Justice League. That's what I'm reading here. You guys are so afraid of Zack Snyder and his Justice League and his vision that you're thinking people won't get even fucking excited for the shit that you're doing over there and that shit show that's called the Hamadaverse right now. That's what I'm seeing there. Don't talk multiverse if you're not even going to try to do it, right? Don't even try to talk about making things that, other peoples can have that vision too, and that person can have that vision too. Don't even say that if that's not even what you're going to do, right? I don't know. Like, what is the plan here? What is the plan? Where's the plan? You're just throwing up, like, Matt Reeves, the Batman. That was already in production before Hamada came in, right? Aquaman 2, that was already settled. Once Aquaman 1 was going to do that, that was Aquaman 2. That was already going to be settled. Zatanna, that's a bad robot thing. J.J. Abrams is coming on board and doing that. Batgirl was already in play. Supergirl was already in play. All that stuff. They even talked about Blue Beetle at one point in time. Black Adam, Shazam, Fury Gods, you have to thank the Garcias and $7 production for that. Hamada, what the fuck are you doing over there? There's only one real movie that you're really planning over there, and that's The Flash. That's it. That's all you got. And you're throwing everything and the kitchen sink in there. Just hopefully it sticks. But at the same time, you're scared. You're scared because restorative Snyderverse is trending. People were excited about Zack Snyder's Justice League, and you're trying to keep shut about that. And I'm thinking that's probably another reason why they're not ready to put out those numbers, right? They're not ready to talk about numbers for those things because they know it completely kills their vision right now. They have no fucking plan. Absolutely no real concrete plan. He's adopted all these other plans and he's calling it his plan, but it's not. It's not. Shazamverse, the Batman, they're all doing their own thing. The only thing he's really involved in is the Flash. Like, that's amazing. I mean, it's so... I can't believe, like, I can't believe Warner Brothers has DC. Like, I hope one day they should separate. Like, separate them. Let DC films be like DC films, not out of Warner Brothers, because they're incompetent executives over there, and they keep going about plan this and plan that. I'm going to show you. Wait. And Stephen Colbert, he actually highlighted the word plan in here, right? This was from that, I think it was the Variety article with Ann Sarnoff. Make the whole more sum than the parts. One of the key aspects of that is having a long-range plan. These movies and TV series can take 2 years to plus 2 years to make. So if you're not planning out and bringing other people into the plan that further accentuates the silos, it's having the plan, and then it's having the strategy where all the various businesses work in harmony to create the plan. It seems logical, but it's very well done. Well, blah 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 blah. Plan. You can say. You can say utter the word plan many times, but this ain't no fucking Beetlejuice. It's not going to happen. No matter how many times you're going to say it, that's definitely not going to happen. There is no plan. There is no plan. But you know what? Who had a plan? Who had a plan? Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder had a plan. It was on a giant whiteboard. It had spun off multiple sequels. It would have had spin-offs. It connected to all the other heroes. We would have had the Atom movie. We would have had the Cyborg movie. They would have their own Flash movie. There was so many things coming out. That was a plan, right? You go, you make a whiteboard, you put a pen and paper how things are going to go. That's the plan. Hamada doesn't have a fucking whiteboard. No. He has nothing. He has a little post-it note that says, put every fucking thing we have in the Flash, because that's all we got right now, because there's nothing compared to the Snyderverse at this moment. Don't get me wrong. I'm excited for the Suicide Squad. I'm excited for the Black Adam, but that's not Hamada's plan. They were already doing that before he even came on board. He has no clue what to do. And if you are trying to bring in all these different visions on board as part of this multiverse, then what would be the best thing to do is to get the Snyderverse on board. That should be part of the plan. We should be part of the plan. It's one of the biggest things. It's one of the most trending things in DC right now. Nothing is exciting in DC right now as the Snyderverse. And people are calling you guys out. People are calling out Warner Brothers saying, what do you got? What do you got? You've got Deadly Squad. You got jack shit. That's what you got. And I think there really needs to be a turnover in the executives, right? There needs to be someone taking over this stuff. Because once Matt Reeves is done with his Batman, he could have some more. Absolutely. Maybe 2 more. Once Aquaman 2 is done, after James Gunn is done with the Suicide Squad, it's going to go back to Guardians of the Galaxy. There's going to be another Aquaman, sure. But what's after that? They're like just throwing, they have a whole bunch of darts. They're throwing at a wall. What sticks? What sticks? Oh, that doesn't stick? Well, we don't need it right now. That's the plan. That's apparently their plan. And what's even hilarious about this whole thing is that once the New Gods were not talked about anymore, Zack Snyder posted on Vero a design of it's a New Gods, one of the New Gods. Granny, oh my goodness, thank you to JoJo for the design. Look at that. It's almost like saying, well, you guys had a problem over there, Warner Brothers. It's like a freaking circus over there. What did you didn't have a plan for New Gods? Well, guess what? I did. Like, I had a granny goodness, so if you guys want to call me up, we could definitely sit down and start doing something. By the way, this was all planned before Ava DuVernay's even touched New Gods, so think about that. So all this, right? DC wanted to chase after Marvel. He had a plan, and they dumped it. It's like... But now they're so egotistical. They're so, freaking, I don't know, there's something in their brains, whatever, that they're so damn stupid that they won't even admit defeat and say, you know what? Hey, we can, we've got all these other projects, but at least maybe there's somebody over here who actually has a plan and it actually connects well, because we want to have that. We want to have all this other stuff, but also the interconnected stuff as well. Oh, maybe we should just let this guy do it and let him grow it out, because we were searching for a fucking Kevin Feige, and Zack Snyder was right there. It's like right there, and it's just, it blows my, it boggles my mind. What was the term that Scott and Garza said? It's befuddling. It's befuddling. So, but JoJo, I don't know who that is. All of a sudden, he actually comes on Twitter. Like he comes on Twitter, and then he releases this. This was the best experience in my career working with Zack Snyder. Okay, we're going to Zack Snyder's Justice League now. I've worked a long time, and by far the most professional, most personable, and coolest. And thanks, Joey Oliva, for introducing me to him. Snyder Cut, restore the Snyderverse. There you go. Restore the Snyderverse. And you're looking at these like, what are these designs here? Well, you got Granny Goodness, which we saw, and is the exact same image Zack posted. So that looks awesome. I don't know. Does she look like Judi Dench? Who does she look like to you? Who does she look like to you? But look at this. What? Is that Jon Stewart? Jon Stewart? They have a design for Jon Stewart. Look at that design. That's amazing. Oh my God, I want to see this so bad. This should piss you off, because Warner Brothers said no to this, right? They may even, maybe they even shot it. I think Zack Snyder said he did shoot a scene. I don't know if that was just a test footage or whatever, but if it looks anything like this, all Green Lantern fans out there should be fucking excited for it. Look at this. This is amazing. Why would you throw that out? Why? Just so you can't have your own Green Lantern to come up first? Remember the excuse was that, look, Zach, we're gonna do this Green Lantern series over here. Okay, well, go do it. What's the big deal? You know what the big deal is? They were scared. They were like, whoa, what if Zack makes this 5-second or 20 or 30-second Green Lantern Jon Stewart scene, and it's like way better than what we're going to do on the HBO Max. Really? You're scared of a 30-second, maybe a few minutes, but nothing substantial? Just to tease Green Lantern? You're afraid of that? What does that mean? Why are you afraid of that? Are you afraid that you won't be able to compare to this? Holy... What kind of company is this? It's a multiverse and you're afraid? Like, Greg Berlanti's not even afraid that if there's an Ezra Miller Flash. I don't think so. He's still doing the Flash. He's all right with it. He's not afraid. Why did they stop him from doing this? If it was so minimal, if it was so small, and you're thinking it's a cul-de-sac, why didn't you let him do it? I don't know. It must be crap over there. You guys must be thinking you're so incompetent about yourselves that you're looking at your projects and you're like, this can't compare to Zack's stuff. We better stop Zack's stuff from coming out because we can't make it as good as them, but we can't let them have we can't let people see what that is. It's like they're keeping DC quality DC products from DC fans, from customers. That's what they're doing, and they're doing it. they're totally not trying to make money here, right? When you get a quality product, you put it out. You don't hide it. What company is this? How can AT&T keep these executives in charge? They're literally sabotaging your company. But this is Jon Stewart, and he looks fantastic. That looks fantastic. I hope we get to see a live action version of that one day. I really do. It looks amazing. I'm excited. And it would have had Jon Stewart, right? Instead of Martian Manhunter, or, I know Harry Lennox said something about he was supposed to come in with Martian Manhunter. That could have been too. I have no idea. But in any case, they were supposed to have been Jon Stewart. They were supposed to have been a Jon Stewart Green Lantern there. Damn it, Warner Brothers. But, man, that looks amazing, though. That really does. The other things he dropped was, of course, Martian Manhunter, which looked pretty much just like the Martian Manhunter we're going to get. So that means the Green Lantern's got to be really close to the live-action version. And then also Joker here. Now, they took this from the David Ayer's Suicide Squad a little bit, and he doesn't look like that at all. There was no holster and things like that. I think it actually looks better, the real one, because he had the SWAT suit and the longer hair. That, to me, is like, that's cool. That's a really cool Joker. But that was one of the ones anyway, right? So, but yeah. What are they afraid of? It seems like they are afraid of the Snyderverse. That's why they don't want to bring out the numbers, or they're trying to hold back the numbers somehow. I don't know how that works. And from keeping it from going out in the public. At the same time, they're trying to keep Zack from showcasing a lot of the stuff, including not showing that there was a Green Lantern, not showing that there was a dark side, not showing that, they were trying to hold it all back. And it just, to me, means they're not confident in their own work, that they're so, they're so fearful of what Zack's going to do because they know it's going to be awesome and it's going to take away the love for their products instead of just sharing it, I mean, we can all have our cake and eat it too. There are people who don't like the Snyderverse. I mean, a lot of people like the Snyderverse now, especially after seeing what Zack Snyder Justice League was supposed to be. So they're all on board. Most of them are on board now. But there's still people who like the other ones, the other products. And they can go there too. But you know what? Now they're catering to what? They're catering to the minority. When they canceled New Gods, they canceled The Trench, right? That's what they were making to be away from the Snyderverse. So they're making that to be the answer to the Snyderverse. And they're not going to do that? Who are you catering to? Which DC fans are you? Honestly, the DC fans that were looking forward to Ava DuVernay's New Gods rather than Snyder's New Gods, they're pissed at Warner Brothers. The Snyder fans who are looking forward to Snyderverse New Gods, they're pissed at Warner Brothers. Who's your customer base? Where are they? Where's your customer base? It seems like everybody's freaking mad at Warner Brothers right now. So that goes to show you, AT&T, if you're even listening, I don't know if you're listening. I don't know. You should be listening to fans. I don't know. If you're not listening to fans, I don't know who you're listening to. Who's your audience? Who are you trying to capture? Because it ain't us. And we're the ones paying money for this stuff. We're the ones watching it. I'm the one talking about it. If I'm disappointed. So I'm like, I don't know. So it really frustrates me. But you know what? Zack's right. You know, he responded to this to when Restore the Snyderverse trended. He says, I don't think they can ignore. And I hope so. I don't think they can ignore either. Someone up there is looking. Someone up there is watching. Someone there's probably, maybe, I don't know, preparing a long message or something. There's got to be some turnover. Something's going to happen. Something's got to happen. Because at this rate, who's going to support DC films? Like, after everything's said and done, what if The Flash fails? What if The Flash comes out and it's a crapshoot? Because they're changing it so much. There's so many different versions of it. Cyborg was in all the versions of it, but you don't have Cyborg. I hope Michael Keaton's still in because they were putting all the eggs in Michael Keaton, right? And, you know, I don't know. So hopefully, if The Flash doesn't succeed, what then? Where's your plan? Is it back to reboots again? I don't know. It really is. It really is. But I hope they succeed. Hope DC, the brand, succeeds in some form. And the way I see it is to accept all the verses, not try to keep someone from making something. If you are going to tout multiverse, go multiverse. Don't be like, multiverse, but well, with exceptions. Like, no, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. If you're going to promote multiverse, you got to go all in on multiverse. That's it. That's the only way you can do it. And when I mean that, I mean letting all the visions continue. Like, if Matt Reeves wants to make his own fucking Justice League, go ahead. I don't know if he's going to do that. I'm just saying. Go ahead. If Andy Muschietti is going to start making Justice Leagues, yeah, go ahead, man. And let Snyderverse. If the Snyderverse is, and it's very successful, it is succeeding, people want more, let it continue on HBO Max, you know. But there's got to be some type of control over these executives who are making the most piss-poor decisions over there. There's got to be a turnover. Something's going to have some accountability over there. This ain't right. This is weird, right? They're not gaining the confidence from from customers right now. They're not gaining any confidence from them. And if you don't gain any confidence from the customer is going to walk away. That's how it goes. They're not going to watch the next movie. They're going to skip some. They're going to do like that. You need the brand to continue. There's a reason why people buy brand products, right? People want the Louis Vuitton. Doesn't matter what size the bag is. Doesn't matter what it looks like. It's a Louis Vuitton bag. It should be the same. We want DC products. Doesn't matter what the brand. What type of product it is. It's DC. If you have that brand loyalty, then you will get everything you want. You will be in business for the rest of your life. But you must start with brand loyalty. Because with a strong brand like DC, you can't go wrong. Like Marvel did it. There is brand loyalty. Anybody and everybody is going to watch every single, especially you're a Marvel fan, they're going to watch every single Marvel film, show. Doesn't matter because they've proven they have brand loyalty. DC has yet to get there, unfortunately. But hopefully, one day. Oh man, what a crazy ride. All right, let's get into members, comments, and questions now. Here we go. Let's start with Don Allen NCA. If you gave all the streaming services the opportunity to steal a property that's hot just now, how much would steal Zack Snyder's Justice League? I think Warner Bros. Showing the first 10 minutes of Godzilla vs. Kong on their YouTube channel is to boost their numbers. I hope I am wrong. I will support Godzilla vs. Kong, but will still watch Justice League more. Absolutely. You know, if you want to support Godzilla vs. Kong, that's absolutely, that's more of a legendary product anyway. Right, that's more of a legendary product anyway. And unfortunately, you know, the creator, the kind of person who gave birth to the MonsterVerse, Thomas Tull, he's gone. So I don't know if they have any more faith in the Monsterverse, even though it did well. I think it's certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know. It must have made a lot more money because we're coming out of the pandemic now, and people are wanting to go watch a blockbuster film, and Godzilla vs. Kong seems to be that movie. Will that spawn sequels? I don't know. It's hard to tell, especially with Legendary. I think they're still a little pissed at Warner Brothers for shutting down their opportunity to put it on Netflix for the same amount of money. But and now what are they doing? There's projects, Legendary products on Netflix. You got Pacific Rim the Black anime. You got the Kong Skull Island anime coming out as well. They're putting Legendary stuff on Netflix. Why isn't that on HBO Max? So I think there is some type of thing there that they're not quite happy with, and it's all on Legendary. It's all about Legendary for the Monsterverse. April Fools? Well, not really. Do you think Zack would create his own heroes and bring that to Netflix and create his own films and mythology over there, a real Snyderverse? I was thinking about that, and I will even put that out there. And he thought it was like, oh, that's kind of cool. But will he do that? Maybe in the future, if he was ever in the genre. If he loses, DC in general, then yeah, that would be kind of cool. Like I would say, hey, let's do that. Be like that Invincible show. I only watched one episode, but Invincible show, but live action. That would be pretty nuts. And definitely Netflix would probably, hey, sure. Come on down, man. They'd give them money. They'd be like, look, I don't even want to know what your projects are. What do you need? You want $200 million or whatever? That's the type of loyalty, I think, love and respect that Netflix has for Zack Snyder. Maybe there should be a disclaimer for the Pacific Rim Black spoilers. I finished the first season, but yeah. Oh, really? Did I spoil that much? I really just talked about a little bit of the ending. I didn't say certain things. In total agreement with this theory, there must be plans afoot. I said previously that there would be holding off to mention something this week. I might have been premature, but I have a huge feeling there's going to be a major announcement sooner rather than later. I hope so. Crossing my fingers. Like I said, crossing my fingers that there's actually something happening over there. But we'll see. I was talking about the turd, of course. The turd. See, I wish I was a way I can go back to I guess I could, but it's sometimes there's so many comments and stuff, I lose sight of what's going on. Sorry, Manu. Sorry. Preach it, Chris. Also sorry I disappeared, bro. March is always tough for me. My brother Liam died when I was a kid. And yesterday was his birthday. Oh, man, that's sad. I'm back now, though, and ready to make Restore Snyderverse reality. Well, welcome back, man. Hey Chris, have recorded any editorial lately. Loved all of the editorials you've done and would love to see more. Don't be like Warner Brothers and not give us what we want. I am trying to work on one. Like I watched Aquaman again, and I think I'm really I'm putting down the notes and everything. So an Aquaman, like a Snyderverse, a true pre Jeff Johns era Aquaman, what would have them been like? And I'm trying to branch that out. So that may be one editorial that's coming. But I heard there's gonna be some interesting stuff tomorrow. So I don't know. I've been putting things on back burners because things keep dropping like that. But anyway, let's go. And I hope HBO Max's silence is them restoring the Snyderverse. I hope we just overwhelmed them like when they were overwhelmed when they realized the global demand for the Snyder Cut, restore the Snyderverse. Yeah, I hope so. Regarding the casting of the Long Halloween, I'll say this. Red Hood being the new Batman is a very interesting idea. Imagine what's happening for real in the comics or what have you. Agreed, I'd say there's a shot that the delay in the numbers is analogous to Henry Cavill not talking about the Snyder Cut until the Man of Steel watch party. He has yet to rise. To quote Jack Sparrow, we wait until the opportune moment. Perhaps. Hey Chris, here's an interesting thought I've had. You know how JL1 sets up that Victor has the ability to control all the nuclear arsenals of the world? What if, in Justice League 3, as a major part of the climax, Victor launching them all upon the armada of Apocalypse, Number one, it annihilates the enemy forces once and for all. Number two, with this single act, all the stockpiles of nuclear weapons in the world are destroyed in the best possible way. The only question will be how to ensure that no radiation goes to Earth. The League will absolutely have to discuss their strategy for the final battle. Yeah, quite possibly. I have no idea how they're going to do that. Maybe they'll launch it through the boom tube and close the boom tube or something. Love you too, Garza. Love you too. Although the stuff we've learned today, we're gonna have to talk about it. I mean, we're already talking about it, but it's, it bummed him out again. I gotta say, watching your video made me think: what if Zack is fighting also for full creative control? Because we saw what happened before. I hope, man, crossing all fingers and toes and everything else, man. Hey, Chris, sad to say, I think the COVID will be having an increase in the next few months. Really? People don't like this, but it is what it is. Streaming seems to be the best way of seeing a good movie. Yeah, I've been hearing, like, I'm in Hawaii, and we're increasing, and there was, like, talks that the mayor says we're going to go back to tier 2, and I'm like, really? But, I got one shot, and I'm getting ready to get my second shot, next month. But like you said, it still doesn't really matter because sometimes you can get it even with a shot or something like that. And my arm, it hurts, when you get the shot. And so I'm hoping I don't get sick getting the second shot. But my wife is getting the first shot tomorrow and stuff like that. So yeah, it's increasing, travel and everything. And Japan was supposed to come in. There are number one tourism is Japan, from Japan, and they were going to come in, but now I guess they're not anymore. So it really is. It kind of sucks for the economy, though. I mean, it really does. But what can you do? I guess. Smog monster. You're right, Hidora. Yeah. What would be the American version of Hidora? It must be much more scarier. Maybe it's going to be more like The Thing. Not continuing the Snyderverse has got to be a big April Fool's Day joke, right? No one's that dumb. Anyway, keep up the good work. It lights that burning arrow in Snyder's temple. Yeah. So I'm just going to keep shouting out to the world, restore the Snyderverse until Zack says no. Until Zack says, yeah, you know what, Chris, it's over, man. But he hasn't said it yet. So, second day in a row, GVK is sold out at my closest theater. Hell, even Tom and Jerry is sold out. And y'all think theater is going to close. PS Theaters really ought to be thanking the Warner Brothers distribution right now. They really should. That whole thing about Warner Brothers, whatever they say, and, HBO Max forced it. But them not delaying, it's funny. They were, trying to talk shit about Warner Brothers. But then Warner Bros. Ended up being the one that actually helped theaters stay open. Isn't that weird? How ironic is that? Weird. But you know what? I hope it stays open. And this is why. Okay. This whole thing about HBO Max wanting to release the Snyder Cut in the first place, I felt that was due to because they, HBO Max needed content. But now that HBO Max had all these movies coming out as their content, it kind of disrupted a little bit of Snyderverse, I would say, because it was supposed to be exclusive to HBO Max, and people would sign up HBO Max just for that. But now people are signing up HBO Max not just for Zack Snyder Justice, but there's Godzilla vs. Kong, there's the Suicide Squad, there's the not the Batman, that's in 2022, but other projects as well. And so you're kind of okay, well, do we need more projects then? But I'm glad that they're thinking about reopening up 45 days in theaters in 2022. That means HBO Max is now going to be hungry for more original content. They can't just rely on movies. They can't wait 45 days for the movie to drop as their content. It would just be that would be synonymous with a archives. They don't want to be an archives holder. They want to have things that come out first and people can sign up and watch it first on their site. So in fact, I think the Snyderverse would be there would be a lot more opportune ways the Snyderverse could grow if movies stay in theaters, how it's supposed to come out. That way Warner Bros. Can do their thing, HBO Max can do their thing, and there's a little bit more more split in that way, and they don't have to, rely on each other. So, yeah. It's definitely better than the Red Band trailer, and you see more of the other members like Javelin. There's a lot more sense of there being much more at stake in this trailer, with the Suicide Squad members decreasing the group shots as you go along, despite it being the clean version, but without giving too much away. Yeah, I absolutely loved it much better. I was floored, and I'm like, why didn't that first one come out? Why didn't this version come out the first time? Because it's a way better way of selling the movie. Hey Chris, I feel like I've said this before, but I think it would be so stupid of them not to release the air cut as part of the marketing for the new Suicide Squad movie. When it's sitting there ready to go, then why not release it? Also, if they say the Snyderverse can continue, do you think Zack would change his plans for 2 and 3 and shake things up a bit? Yes. I think he already has. Considering we know so much of the plot by now, maybe he might change things to keep it surprising. A worry of mine is none of the actors other than the likes of Ray Fisher and Joe Manganiello actually been interested in continuing the universe as a streaming show. Ben, Henry, Gal, Jason, and Ezra all signed on for a film series. Jason, Ezra, and Gal are continuing their characters in the movies, and Harry is the only one in the streaming world with The Witcher, but his version of Superman is a cinematic version of the character. My worry is none of them being up for playing the characters they play in the movies on a streaming show, because it would seem like a step down. Especially since Justice League is meant to be a big deal crossover event for these characters, they might say no because it would seem weird to have their solo movies or cinematic experiences and the big deal crossover as a TV show rather than an endgame level event. I can tell you right now, no actor is going to turn down money. It doesn't matter if it's a cinematic movie experience. It doesn't matter if it's show experience. It matters on how much is on the contract and what that's about. Okay, they're not in about. There's some that are in the glory, but now that they're handing out awards and Oscar awards to streaming services, and it's a superhero movie downright, pretty much. They're not there to look forward into making like getting an Oscar. It's about the money. It's gonna come down to money, and that's all it is. If there is a gig that offers them money, their reps are gonna say, "Hey, sign up for this." Plus, you can have perks. Maybe you'll have royalties in this and royalties in that. That's all they care about, man. This is all about business. So it comes down to that. As you show, Henry, he's in need of a job, man. If they're not going to make him Superman, he wants to be Superman. Garcia's going to believe how much for him to be Superman. They said this is how much for him to be Superman. He's going to be Superman. That's it. That's all it's going to take. Ben, he's got some stuff on. He's been on Netflix. He has a movie on Netflix. He has multiple movies. Gal also did something on Netflix, right? Jason, Netflix. He's in the shows with Netflix. They've all done that. So it really doesn't come down to being movie. It doesn't matter. To them, it's a business. To them, it's their reps are saying what they should sign up for, what they should not sign up for. That's pretty much it. It really is. That's how it actually works. So don't worry about that. There's a contract. There's sign up for it, and the money's good. They'll do it. Is it just me, or does King Shark look a bit frustrated at Waller's reaction to the hand thing? Well, it's a shark. Thanks for the shout out, Chris. No, thank you for buying a shirt. I will always show my support for you and the channel. Just to clarify, though, I was an actor in Suicide Squad, not an extra. Just saying. Oh, okay, sorry. Sorry, man. He was an actor in Suicide Squad, not an extra. But thanks for the shirt anyway. Still no BVS remastered on HBO Max. I some people are saying there is. Is that in another country? Because when I play it in America, it's still the bars on top throughout the whole thing. This does look a lot better. I was so unimpressed with the last one. I have a bit of a dilemma. I've actually never watched the first Suicide Squad because back when it came out, I wasn't super interested in those characters. I am now, but I don't want to watch what came out in theaters because it's tampered with. So I'm totally counting on the air cut being released. Oh, you haven't watched it? That's interesting. It is a movie I legitimately never seen. My question is, do you think I'll be fine to just going ahead with James Gunn without having watched what came out a few years ago? Do you think there would be major connections between the two, or will this movie be unrelated? Well, so from the beginning of the episode, from this show, James Gunn says there is nothing, you don't have to worry about watching David Ayer's version. David Ayer even said himself, it's totally separate, other than the characters that are introduced in Harley Quinn. That's her, Margot Robbie, Rick Flagg's the same dude, Amanda Waller, same lady, Captain Boomerang. You may want to watch it just to say, oh, okay, these guys came first. But honestly, I think from what I'm feeling is that they're just going to be there and they seem like they know each other. But there's going to be no if you want that context, then go ahead and watch it. But if you don't care about that context, then you don't have to watch it. But hey, just watch James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. Then if you feel like you want to have a little bit more context, you felt like there's some connection, and I'll definitely review it. You go ahead and watch The Suicide Squad. And you know what? It may be good because just like Zack Snyder Justice League, sometimes it's kind of like I want to see how much they fucked up, right? So when Air Cut comes out, I would go back and like, how did they mess that up? Like I still remember how the Justice League, because we recently watched it. I recently watched it with Dave the Film Junkie and Scott McKellen and so on and so forth. So that was still in my memory. But go ahead, yeah. I have to say I enjoyed Godzilla vs. Kong. Great fight scenes and the CGI is really good. With that said, I've always wondered if Superman could take on Godzilla. Yes, I know it's a silly question, but why not? Your thoughts, Chris? Yeah, I think he could probably take out Godzilla. Now, wasn't there a YouTube fight with Godzilla and Superman, or am I thinking just Goku? I kind of thought there was one with Superman. I know there was one with Wolverine versus Godzilla. That was interesting. But I think Superman would still, kill him. Just saw the Granny Goodness post. She looks like Jane Lynch. Oh, Jane Lynch. Yeah, I wanted to say yeah. Thank you. Jane Lynch would be a badass Granny Goodness. She would. Yeah. Yeah, she looks like Jane Lynch. There you go. More Jane Lynch than Judi Dench for sure. Color versions of Zack Snyder Justice League pop figures available for pre-order. Oh, cool. I saw some of them. I still can't believe nobody's making the nightmare versions of Mera, The Flash, Cyborg, Deathstroke, Joker. Like, where are those Funko Pops? Hey, Chris, not entirely related to the vid, but I just had to share something that really blew me away. I'm not sure if you noticed this or not, if anybody has already brought this to your attention, but somebody posted on IG something I completely missed. I'm interested to know if anybody else spotted this Easter egg as well. At the end of Justice League, in that beautiful shot of Batman standing on his tank, he has members of the Mutants gangs from The Dark Knight Returns tied up on the ground. The Mutants! If you'd like, I could send you the picture, but that just really blew my mind. Gotta love how Snyder plants these seeds. Yeah, I saw that. In fact, I think it was in my spoiler review. I talked about that in that really long spoiler review. I'm sorry. But I did see that, and I did talk about that. But yeah, we've seen that. That's cool. And it really shows that, man, Zack could really do, like he wants to do it, an actual like real Dark Knight's Returns adaptation, like how he did an adaptation for Watchmen. This is not like Batman v Superman, which is like an homage to Dark Knight Returns. No, like on point, like actual adaptation, maybe even pulling it from the comic book pages itself, Dark Knight Returns. Which will probably have like a different Batman, different Superman, and so on and so forth. But that's what he wants to do, and I say, do it, man. And that was kind of like a throw out there. So I thought it would be kind of cool. Just seeing how that's so cool to see, mutants. Imagine him doing an entire Dark Knight Returns film of that. That would be pretty awesome. All right, I think that was my last comment. Thank you. All right. Well, thank you so much for putting down your comments and questions, member. Thank you. I appreciate it. If anybody wants me to read your comment or question, please join down as a member down below. Get some shirts down below as well. And I'm thinking in a few hours from this comes out, so there will be something interesting going online. So be prepared for that if you haven't seen it. Friday is going to be fun. Friday is going to be fun. Just saying. It's going to be fun. All right, well, thank you so much for watching. Like I said, if you absolutely love this daily dose of entertainment news and content, please click the like button, hit the subscribe button, ring that notification bell, keep this hot dog light on, and I'll see you next time.